everybody. It's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at ya. And welcome to the channel for all new people and people who have just been on this journey with us from the beginning. And anytime that you've joined, just so glad that you are here. And we just pray that this channel is just really an encouragement to you in your own walk with the Lord. Yeah. And we just share what the Lord puts on our heart to share. Pretty much everything we share is what the Lord is working in our life currently. So this is where God has us, and
it's like season 5, episode 12 coming at you.
Yeah. And so that's just what we do. We share our life with you, and we just pray that God just uses that in your own life to encourage you as you follow Him on the journey that He has you on.
Yep.
And also a huge thank you to everyone who continues to support us and
yes.
continues to just give. We just so
Praise
appreciate it. And if you would like to give, because we are support-based, you can. We have a PayPal link below, and you can just click that.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
You ready?
I am ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready to be quiet for a long time?
I think that's what I normally do.
And just kind of like look at me every once in a while?
Oh, yes.
Okay, stop. Okay, we'll do this again. All right, so. Okay, well, that section was for the blooper reel. Anyway, going on with our video. So, guys, we've been on this journey for a while.
Yeah.
We've been in, how long we've been in Nashville? Just our Nashville part of the journey.
19 months.
19 complete months. So we're in our 20th month now.
Yeah. God's
provided for us. He's done work in our heart and in the physical. I mean, He's just done so much stuff, right? Well, along the journey, even before we moved to Nashville, of course, moving to Nashville, that was the struggle in Kansas City to believe that, right? Mm-hmm. We were like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. How's that going to happen? You get assaulted with the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Mm-hmm. Well, that continues to happen as the further you get into the journey with the Lord. The further because as on the journey, you get prophetic words. God shares stuff with you. God promises you things. And the more you're in His face, the more He's going to share with you. Mm-hmm. Not for the purpose of grabbing prophetic words or something like that from Him, but you just want to know the Lord. If your heart is truly to know the Lord, He will share it. Yeah. And in sharing it, man, you're going to see some stuff, you're going to hear some stuff, and God's going to do some stuff that's going to be amazing and sometimes extremely uncomfortable. Yeah. Downright painful. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's all the Lord. And you're just like, I don't care. Come rain or shine, as they used to say, I'm with you, Lord, and I'm going after you. So then as you begin to collect all these this treasure trove of precious promises, the who, what, where, when, why, and how is still there. Yeah. It's still there, hanging out, like pioneers, on pioneering through an area. They got these banditos that are just like constantly giving you a problem, and it's not that the who, what, where, when, why, and how is a problem. It's just the problem is we try to piece together what the Lord's saying in our mind and in our end time. We try to figure out if that's going to work, how is that going to work? Yeah. And so in light of that, some of the things that the Lord has spoken to us, they happen right away. Yeah. But then some of the stuff that the Lord's spoken to us, we're still waiting on that stuff to happen. Yeah. And so God has His own time frame, right? Mm-hmm. And so recently I have been asking the Lord, I'm like, Lord, and it was almost like, you better tie a rope around my ankle, because I'm going into the Holy of Holies right now, and I might not make it. You know what I mean? That's what was going on in my heart. And obviously God probably laughed at me the way you just did. But it's just like, Devin, the cross kind of took care of that, you know?
Yeah.
You're not even Jewish.
You can come boldly to my throne.
You just coming to the high priest, you know?
Yeah.
Come on. Just come on, brother. What's your question? What's your issue? But sometimes in our hearts, there's things where like, ooh, no, I'm not going to ask the Lord that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm not going to talk about that. You can see it in the disciples' lives. There's certain things they were like, we better not ask the Lord
And
that
then
question.
Jesus is like, so, what's going on in your heart here? I see
Yeah.
see this thing in your heart. And they're like, oh.
I love it. Yeah. And then sometimes he would just come up and go, oh, hey guys, let me talk to you about something. And it was the very thing they were afraid to ask him. So in light of that, I've been asking the Lord, I'm like, Lord, some of these things that we believe you've promised us and you keep on saying to us. I mean, undeniable, like on the cross, Lord Jesus, whatever you want. Oh, okay, you're on the cross. Great, you're dying to yourself. That's great. That's awesome, guys. That's awesome. Here, this is what I want to give you. Oh my gosh. Like, and it's just like, why do I say, oh my gosh? Because it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like, it's beyond comprehension. And I'm just like, wow. And it seems like there's a similar belief among lots of other believers that you're going to do that for them as well. And so I'm just like, well, Lord, that's their story. This is our story, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to know, like, Lord, are these things real? And so I began asking the Lord specific questions. Like, are these things real? I just want to know. I will take anything. I was like, Lord, even if it's not real and we have to go through some great pain of you taking that out or revealing to us that it was just a tear or a darnell sewn in, you know what I mean? I'm totally fine with that, right?
Yeah.
We were like, Lord, we're totally fine with that. And the Lord did not answer me. I mean, he dropped a few hints here and there over the next couple days after asking that question. And it was just, I was like, I was like, I can't trust that. That's more of like a little hint. I'm not asking for a hint. I want you to get in my face and say, Devin, this is your answer. You know what I mean? But a lot of times when we demand that of God, a lot of times in his mercy, he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, you're just going to have to believe, bro. You're just going to have to know. You're just going to have to. And so recently, when was that the Lord said, trust in the Lord with all your heart? Was that like 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
Because it was a nighttime God time, a couple nights ago. The Lord just, man, there was a lightning bolt that just hit my heart. It was like, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And we weren't even talking about trust or anything like that. It was just randomly, God just hits me with this. And it was this mushroom cloud of peace that just blossomed in my heart. It was like, whoa, like a nuclear bomb, that blast radius that looks like a big circle that just a bubble.
Yeah.
It was just going on inside of me, and I was like, wow. And then later on, I was like, Lord, that literally is the answer to every question that I asked you, because I asked him like 3-4 questions. I'm like, that's the question, isn't it? Because part of me is wanting to know, well, how is this going to happen and how is that going to happen? How are you giving us this vision for the end, but then you're also giving us this vision for the end? They don't seem to match up. In fact, they're in 2 different time frames. It's like one is at night and one is during the day. How is that supposed to how is that supposed to be the end? And all kinds of stuff like that, right? And the Lord was just like, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding and how you want to put everything together. Great little example that we always use. You know, the Messiah was going to come from Egypt, Bethlehem, and be a Nazarene. It's like, that's not possible. That's right. One of those prophets weren't hearing from the Lord correctly. You know what I mean? But it's like it all actually happened.
Yeah.
The way it was prophesied. And so all of that to say, you know, you gotta trust in the Lord. You know, don't sit in the seat of, you know, the knowledge of good and evil and decide what's from the Lord and what's not from the Lord. You just have to get in the presence of God and hear from him and let his word saturate you. Let his word marinate you. Let his presence work in what he's saying to you. Work in the word. And in light of that, I felt like the Lord was saying, I am writing your story. You know, just like I wrote Noah's story, just like I wrote Abraham's story, the things I'm doing in your life are a prophetic picture to future generations. And that they will look back and go, whoa, look at that. See, they'll be able to see it from a bird's eye view. You're living through it. You're walking through the pages of your story, so you don't see what's on page 47. Did I just say 47?
You did.
Anyway, girls been seeing 47 a lot. Anyway, you don't see what's on that page. You don't see what's on page 188. You don't, because you're on page 14. Did I just say 14? Anyway. Just, every number I say is going to be a prophetic number. No, just kidding. But so that's why you have to trust in the Lord, because you don't understand how such and so goes together, because you're not the author.
Yeah.
You're not the architect. You don't even know what you're doing. You know, it's like that vision I got of you putting on your armor. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go. Come on, let's do this. That's pretty much the journey we have been on for like what now?
A long time.
2.5 years, almost 3 years. This December will be like almost 3 years, man. That's crazy. I've been doing this YouTube thing for 3 years, but you know, when I first started the YouTube, we had an income. One of us was at least working. You know, we were working. There was work going on there. You know, traditional work. You know. And then God led us into this journey. It's just like, and you know, our daughter, she's reading the Little House on the Prairie collection right now, and it's about pioneers and all that. And I just felt like the Lord's saying, that's what you guys are doing. Really, I felt like the Lord's like, that's what I'm doing in you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing in my people and some of his people. He's doing a pioneering work, and pioneering work is hard.
Yeah.
It's just hard. There's no way to do it. There's no way else to get around the hardship of pioneering. You got this massive jungle. Well, you're going to chop through it. And God's giving you this vision of this, I don't know, marketplace and village or whatever in this place. But it's just a massive, dense jungle now.
Yeah.
It's like, what? How's that going to happen? Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Let's just follow me every day. Today, I want you to chop this section down. Today, I want you to go over here and do this. You know, and however long it takes, the bottom line is, at the end, it will be exactly what God showed you in the vision and in the dream. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as it's done, because when it's done, it will give praise and glory to God forever. It will draw men unto his presence forever. Yeah, they'll come, they'll sit down at the table, and they'll eat some food or whatever, but you will have such a rich history with that table. You will know where it came from, how it came to be, what was going on that day when it came into being, and you know what I'm saying? It's like when you're pioneering, God is bringing you alongside of him to build something.
Yeah.
You know, and God's saying, like, I am building your story. I am writing your story. It's already written, actually, but you're walking through it. That's what I mean by writing. It's actually already written, but it's like you're walking through your story. That's what I should say. But I really felt like the Lord said that. It's like, I'm writing your story, but in the same spirit of, like, I'm the one writing it. I'm the one directing you. I'm the one guiding you. I'm the one leading you. I'm the one doing it all. So as an author myself, which I haven't written in like, wow, how long? Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? It's like your heart earnestly is over everything you're creating. You will not leave out one little thing undone, because it could mess up the whole story.
Yeah.
You can't say so-and-so was born in 1999 and then they're 18 in the year 2004. You know what I'm saying? Oops, I think I messed that time frame up. You know? And so, that's what I wanted to share today. That just trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding and try to put the pieces together. Just give your heart over to the Lord and go, God, whatever. What's your will today? Give us this day our daily bread. And we're going to move forward with what you have for us. And we're going to keep doing what you want us to do. And we're going to expect you to move and do great things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, and I think for me, because the Lord was also really kind of sharing that, the trusting in him as well. And I was reading Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and, you know, it said to trust in and put your confidence in the Lord, and with all your heart and mind. And I was really just kind of like, all right, well, because it's funny because I've been recently just really praying for confidence, confidence in what I'm hearing from the Lord, confidence in just in general, and the Lord is just like, it was really cool because then I'm like, oh, okay, so we got to just trust in you and that's where our confidence comes from. It comes from the Lord, but then I'm like, but how can I be confident and trust that I've heard from you if I'm not confident that I've heard from you?
It's like, how can I get experience without a job? And how can I get a job without experience?
Exactly. It was like one of those. And so I was just kind of when I was spending some time with the Lord, and I was reminded of Colossians 3:15, which talks about allowing the peace of God be the umpire and the final decision maker for all things. And it's like when you have the peace, then you can be confident that it is the Lord directing you. And so then of course my prayer became, Lord, help me to recognize your peace in all situations, like the true peace of God. And but it's just been really neat just to see how God just like, hey, yeah, I'm answering that. I'm gonna show you how to walk in confidence with me, how to just listen to my heart and then move forward by faith in that direction. Because I think we said it in our last video, that God has been like saying, hey, come on up to a higher level, a deeper level of faith.
Yeah.
And in order to have that, we have to have confidence in who God is and what He's speaking over our life. And so it's just been really cool. And the other thing that was really hitting me too was just that in trusting the Lord, it's with everything. Like in every aspect and area of your life.
Define
because
everything.
Everything. That would include all things.
Relationships.
Finances, education, health,
children,
all of it, just anything in your life,
future, past, present.
It's like we need to put our trust and hope in the Lord for that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, Lord, yes, I want to do that, because it's easy to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the sense of like the wisdom of man. The wisdom of man can come up with a lot of wise things. That's why it's called wisdom. But
we're surrounded by it, and it's very noisy.
Yeah.
But God, He's just standing there at peace, still inside of you, and He says, "Hey, why don't you go do this?"
Yeah. And so it's like you want to be listening to really the wisdom of God, because God's wisdom will be at times completely contrary to the wisdom of man.
Have you watched any of our videos?
Yeah.
Have you seen our lifestyle? Hello.
And it's like, but if God is saying, no, this is what I want for you to do, this is what I have for you to do, you have to just listen to the Lord in that and trust that He is bringing you the best into your life. And it's like, I think for me, I was just realizing, wow, Lord, yes, like I want to do that. I want to just fully just trust you and in all things and have you be the first. Because the truth is, God, it's like you can go to Him and be like, Lord, what are you thinking about this thing? And He might direct you to something that man has. He might instruct you to resources that's available because of the wisdom that God has given some person who's like, oh, they've already walked down this road. Here, you can, look at their book or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, wow, that really is helping the situation, but it's come from God first. It might be like, oh, I have this health issue, and the Lord gives you the wisdom. Well, I want you to go ahead and go to the doctor and have this thing get fixed that way, But it might be the Lord saying, no, you know what? I want you to stand and believe that I'm going to heal you completely, and that's how I'm going to move. And in any of those situations, it's like it has to still be the wisdom of God and trusting Him for what He's spoken over our life. And
can I give an example on that? We had a couple friends of ours who the awesome people, man, glory to God for great friendships, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, but they were the wife was going to need a hip replacement or something like that, and we were all just praying for a miraculous recovery. We're praying for that. We want that, but then you have to get yourself to this place where it's like, okay, God, this is what we want. What are you saying? Like, what is it? What's really going on here? And the Lord said to me, basically, He wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to heal.
Like, we were praying for the miraculous healing.
Yeah, because she was constantly having issues with her hip. Constant pain, and it was like, God, come on, do something here. But basically what ended up happening is she just got a hip replacement. She went to the doctor, got a surgery, got the hip replacement. And the Lord said to me, I know this is going to sound weird. And the Lord said to me, He's like, she's going to be better off that way than if I had healed her. And I was like, what? How is that possible? Because, I mean, that's your stuff. It's being replaced with man-made stuff. How is this possible? And that's all He said to me. He could have been referring to the process and how He was going to be able to grow closer to her through it and all that. I don't know. And then I was going to, and there was a part of me that I wanted to share it, but then the Lord was like, no, don't share it with them. Don't say that with them. Of course, now it's out there on this video, isn't it? But I mean, this was a while ago, so it's not. It doesn't. In the moment, He was just like, no, don't. Just let it go. And they're doing great. Walking by faith, doing what they're doing. They're doing awesome. And they're going to do whatever I ask them to do anyway. And so, but that's just an example of like you have to go with the wisdom of God. You have to go with what He's saying to do and not to do. Because naturally, I mean, if you're a believer, you always want to see God parting the Red Sea and healing the leprosies and the AIDS and the cancers, and you always want to see that. It's like you want to walk. If you're a humble believer, and who cares? Okay, you got flaws, you got issues, whatever they are, but you want to see the glory of God work through you. Am I right? You just want to see that. It doesn't even matter whether you have a house or a car or money in the bank or whatever. If you can move the way Jesus moved, I'll trade it all. You know what I mean? And so everybody wants that. But in that, you got to recognize it's like, okay, it's really not about those demonstrations. That's not the core of God's heart, is to have these demonstrations. No, because then ministry would be the big deal in God's heart. But it's not. It's the heart that's the big deal in God's heart. And He wants the relationship with people. That is the most important thing. Everything else is subservient to that desire. Everything. All the veins that come out of God's heart and spread over all the earth and surround the earth are all about leading people to those veins and bringing them into relationship, into His heart. That's what ministry is really all about. That's why you have so many ministries that are just dead and rotten and decaying and pointless and boring and useless, because none of them, no connection of God's heart is connected to that ministry. And it's like, okay, God, what do you want? So it's like you got to listen to the Lord. Even in that's just an example I wanted to give as far as like listening to the Lord and being confident, because I was a little scared. I was like, "Ooh, Lord," talking about the confidence. I was like, we're praying for healing, but you're saying you're not going to do that. Okay,
Well, it was just He's not going to do the like miraculous.
The miraculous thing that we wanted, like to renew the bone or something.
And it's like the Lord's like, but He did bring restoration and healing.
Oh yeah.
And but I do, and actually that's, speaking of like the heart, I really feel like that's something that the Lord has highlighted with all the trusting in Him that He's been talking about.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
And it was just like, I don't know, yesterday I was really hit once again with just this even deeper revelation of just, man, Lord, it really is just you are about our hearts.
Yeah.
And how good that is. How amazing that is. And it was just like, wow, because it was really cool. Yesterday, there was just, God really was just highlighting and showing how much He really cares about the heart. And it was really cool because God did, in our morning God time.
Wow.
It was just so awesome because, a lot of just he was exposing a lot of things. And so it was a very long time. You know, for us personally, like, we just allow God to just come in and lead, because he truly is he's the father of our family. And so it's like, Lord, however you want to lead, we're just going with the flow. And so sometimes we have times with the Lord that are really long, like it could be a couple hours long, that the Lord is just speaking and talking. And then other times it can be a much shorter time. But yesterday was kind of one of these longer times where the Lord was just kind of exposing things, and we were talking, you know, praying. It was really cool because we were praying for one another and stuff. But then there came this moment, and we had finished worship, finished talking, we were getting ready to just do the final prayer time, and I really felt like the Lord was just putting it upon my heart, you know, to give my daughter a piece of gum, and I was just like,
I'm sorry, this is amazing.
I was just like,
so amazing what happened.
Okay, you know, and because she had a really hard time, and it was in the morning, it was very difficult, and she's just sitting there, and
heart-wise, God was just getting in there, and he was stirring up the nest big time. Yeah.
and I just really was like, okay, Lord, you want me to give her a piece of gum? All right. And so, because you know, she didn't get gum all that much, and we just bought a little pack of gum, and I'd given her one the other day as a reward for just doing so well and things like that. Yeah. So that's kind of the setup. But I go over, I get the piece of gum, and I just come to her, and I was like, lady, this is not because of anything that you've done, good or bad. God just wants me to give this to you because he loves you. And I give the piece of gum to her. And I didn't know, I was like, well, maybe she'll just be like, oh, yay.
Wait, before you go there, let's give her a little more setup. Why was it so difficult? Because she felt like our daughter is a perfectionist. And she wants to wake up in the morning and she wants to go through her whole day not making a mistake. And it's like, that's never going to happen. Yeah. And so when her and Joe are kind of like that, where they're very much like, I want to do it the right way. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then she just felt like she was just messing up a ton that morning. And we're just like, yeah, there are some things that you're messing up on. And they take it very hard. Yeah. And it just like, oh, you know, and so, so she felt very failing and undeserving of anything.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know what, the Lord just wants to give this to you because he loves you. And she took it.
She was like, what?
What? And she literally just broke down crying,
bawling like a baby.
And I was just like, I just like, you know, put my arm around her, but I was just almost in shock of like, wow, I did not that just touched her heart in a way that it was just
no preaching ever could. Yeah.
And it was like, wow, like, God, you are so much about the heart. And he knows, this is what was so amazing. It's like, he knows what's going to touch a person's heart, you know? I couldn't have come up with that. Oh, I know. Let's give her a piece of gum. It'll make her feel really awesome, you know? And it's like,
here, let me connect the pieces.
You know, or this is what's going to, you know, break a spirit of pride, and just humility is going to come in. And it's like, no, you would never think of that. But like, God was just like, I know what I'm doing. If you just trust my leading of my spirit, you're going to see me move in just amazing ways. And it was just so touching. And it really touched my heart too, because it was, once again, it was this place where the Lord he was really just answering my own prayer of like, Lord, let me have confidence. And so it was answering that prayer of mine, because he's like, see, you do hear from me. Look at what, you know, just this small, simple thing, by listening to me, because I knew it was like, I need to do this right now. Like, you know, I was sitting there for a second, oh, maybe I could just do it after. And it was like, no, this needs to be done now. And so it just, it was just, and
that was literally, that was the Lord interrupting the flow of things. Yeah. It's like, it's his flow anyway. Yeah. He's not interrupting anything. Yeah. But like in our minds, okay, we're doing this. Okay, now we do this. Okay, now we do this. And God's like, well, I'm interrupting. I'm going to do this. Yeah. And it's like, okay.
and it was just like it was a breaking
Yeah,
for her,
it's
and just
amazing.
like, wow, God just loves me because He loves me.
I don't have to perform
Yeah.
and do perfectly well and then get the reward because I did perfectly well.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And it just really crushed something
Mm-hmm.
of that mentality.
Yeah.
You know?
And so it was like, wow. And so really the whole morning, God was just spending on our hearts. And it was so amazing to see. And so yesterday,
it was intense.
It was very intense.
Man.
But at the end, we walked away and it was just like, wow.
I feel like we got
Lord.
way more momentum because God's just been doing this new thing in our lives, is going in the new direction relationally with our family. And He's like, no, I'm not going to let the enemy come in and steal. It's like, okay, the enemy does come, and he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I'm going to come and I'm going to bring life. And he might try to attack you with this little nitpicky and that little nitpicky and this little nitpicky thing, but okay, I'm going to come in with a tsunami of love and revelation, and it's going to take you 60 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Where the enemy's just trying to get you back one pace at a time. I'm going to surge you forward, and we're going to keep this momentum going, and you'll recognize that it is because of my power and my spirit that this change is happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and so it was just amazing. And yesterday, all day especially after that, it was just like, wow, God, you are so good, and your love is just so great.
Amazing.
And it was just this deeper level of understanding of God's love that I was hit with yesterday. And it's been kind of cool too, because a lot of our worship songs lately have just been about the love of God, which I think is so awesome. I love how even with like our worship time, you know, because when we lead, we're just always just kind of asking the Lord, you know, like, what is it? You know, and it just kind of like, you'll just start, you know, I'll just go through and pick out songs, and it's like, wow, like there's this theme to all these songs that we're picking out, and just what the Lord is saying. And He's been talking a lot about His love, and I could just really see it in how He demonstrates His love in our life, and it comes through both big ways and just small ways. And
a piece of gum, remember?
A piece of gum.
Heidi Baker and the two cookies changed her life.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, and so it's just like, wow, Lord, you are so good. So good to do that for us. And it's just more ways that He just demonstrates His love for us.
Yeah.
So I think that's really all that we have for you guys for this video. Just that, you know, trust in the Lord, because He really has your heart.
Yeah.
He cares more about your heart than we really truly grasp and understand. And it's like, if we could just rest in knowing that the Lord has our hearts and He cares for us and He loves us, then we can be confident that we can just trust Him as He leads our life, no matter what it looks like, and that it's for our good, and the outcome is always good. The outcome is always great and wonderful. And so that's really, I think, what it is that we feel like the Lord is speaking and saying right now to
He's
us.
He's trustworthy.
He is
He's
so
worthy of trust.
Yeah.
He just is.
So
because He loves us. You know?
Yeah. So I think that's really it. And unless you had anything else?
I did not.
All
Love
right.
you guys. We do read the comments. We read you guys' comments all the time.
Yeah.
We just don't heart them or respond or anything. We haven't been released to do that yet, but we do read them, and it touches our hearts. We love it.
Yeah. So keep those comments coming. And
remember us for this week, because we're in a new week, and so this is a new week of support meeting.
Yes.
Just like last week and the week before and the week before that. Okay?
And so
the weekend turned out good, you know, and it's just like, so, but now we're in this new week, and it's just, you know, so just throwing that out there.
So you do have something to say.
When do I not? I mean, come on, bruh. I mean, sis.
Anyway.
Love you guys.
Yeah, and we so appreciate all of you, and pray that you are encouraged, and just trust the Lord.
Yeah.
with all your heart and mind.
Yeah.
And until next time, guys, we will see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.